and welcome to a brand new episode of Rooms, a podcast by the students of TISS Guwahati. I am Mishti.
And myself, Disha. Today we have with us Syed Manzer, the founder of Bridge. Welcome, Manzer, to Gunj. Would you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yeah, thank you, Disha. Thank you, Misty. So, my name is Manzer. I'm an alumni from the batch of 2019. I did my master's in social work with specialization in livelihoods and social entrepreneurship. And I'm also the founder of Bridge, as previously mentioned. And I will be pursuing another master's from the University of Oxford this coming year. Yeah, thank you for having me in the show.
Thank you, and we are so delighted to have you with us.
So, before beginning the interview and bombarding our guests with questions, Disha, would you please give our listeners a sneak peek of the wonderful initiative that is Bridge?
Okay, so for all of you who don't know about Bridge, it is a student led initiative in collaboration with this Students' Aid Scheme, established within the Institute to channelize funding for bright and diverse minds so that lack of finances does not prevent their academic mobility in any way.
Yeah, and Bridge is officially recognized by the Office of Students Affairs, TISS Mumbai. It aims to bridge the currently widening student aid deficits of the institute through donations with alumni and other potential donors. Now, beginning with the questions to know more about this bridge, Manzur, can you please tell us about the aim and structure of bridge?
Yeah, sure. So the aim of Bridge is to strengthen the existing student aid mechanism at TISC so that more and more students can be furthered with the student aid and their academic mobility is not hindered in any way. So the overall idea is to help students graduate debt free and smoothly. And the process is we try to channelize funds from various sources, primarily the alumni and few foundations and CSRs, so that the student aid mechanism is strengthened and we do not face the hardships of funds.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next question. How did the idea of this initiative come about?
All right. So I remember when I had entered this back in 2017, there were a few protests going on regarding certain scholarship. If I can recall well, it was the GIPMS scholarship. So the scholarship has not been efficient lately over the last 3 4 years, and some of my friends were actually under the direct, I would say, vulnerability of it. So it made me curious, and obviously we feel before coming to this, we had a sense of privilege. We were not aware of the issues which could be, for example, as small as paying the fees of at campus. So, but the moment we entered this, you get to know a lot. You get to know about the challenges which are faced by different sections of society. At that moment, I started being curious about the entire protest, entire challenge being faced by a student community, and then I came to know that how exactly the existing scholarship scheme is not functioning well, and many students were under the direct threat of it. So, and the incident which actually hit me hard and eventually led to the rise of, I would say, the led to the inception of Bridge was a friend of mine, a very close friend of mine. He was facing financial difficulties with regards to the scholarship, and just to supplement his tuition fee, or I would say field expenses, he used to skip his meals. So at this we have field works, right? So he had to travel to some distance to reach his field work location, and so he used to skip his meal one time, and the amount which he used to save, from that amount he used to supplement the travel expenses. I came to know about it, and this was something which really shook me from within, and I really thought about it like, okay, this is something which is really impacting the student community, and what can be done about it. So I started exploring the alternate options, and most importantly understanding the existing mechanism, what is the problem which is in hand, how exactly we can deal with it. So initially we thought of starting something from the scratch, maybe a scholarship mechanism. So we were not much aware of the student aid system which is already existing at TES. So after multiple researchers, speaking to many alumni, the college administration, faculties, students, we came to a point wherein we realized that starting something parallel to the existing mechanism would be a redundant task and it will not be sustainable. So the idea was, instead of starting something new, something from the scratch, why don't we strengthen the existing system that we have within the institute? And that was the student aid mechanism. So that's how Bridge came into inception. So after 6 7 months of research and discussing with every possible stakeholder, and mind you, all of this was happening along with our education, along with our classes assignments, we came to a point when we thought that okay, we will be starting a completely student-led and student-run initiative. We should be working to strengthen the existing student aid mechanism by channelizing funds, and the entire process has to be transparent and accountable. That was non-negotiable. And that's how the idea initiated. So from starting from a protest, and then the research and few personal incidents, to a point that we could decide that okay, this can be the structure, and that's how it came into existence.
Wow, that was really thoughtful, indeed an inspiring story. But as we all know, with any new venture comes along the difficulties. What were the difficulties that Bridge faced?
Okay, so as I mentioned before, we thought of not going, not starting something from the scratch, but going along with the college's existing mechanism. Now that required to collaborate, or I would say to work along with the stakeholders primarily from the college, that is this. Now bringing every stakeholder on one common platform, gaining their confidence, making them believe that this is something which will support student community in the longer run. That was the most difficult part. Now if you have to work along with college, it is not very easy. You need to get their I would say permissions to use the name, use the logos, even the domain, the website. It has to be on the TIS website so that people can trust us. People can trust us with the amount, because alumni do not easily trust any new initiative until unless it is backed by the college administration. So I would say it took me almost 2 years. The idea emerged in October 2017, and right before my farewell, February 2019, the website was launched. So it took me 2 years to convince every possible department, be it accounts, be it academic section, be it office of student affairs, director's office, every possible department, that this initiative will be helping the TIS community as a whole. So challenges were there at times. So we started with 14 members in the team. In the end, it was just two of us who were running here and there. I'm not blaming them. TIS has a hectic schedule, and we all know that. So few challenges I would say. The first one was bringing everybody on board on one common platform, convincing them about the initiative, then devising the whole mechanism, how exactly the idea is going to be, and lastly, not giving up because we were just two left from the 14 team which started in the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, your hard work and dedication is definitely praiseworthy and impressive. Moving ahead, please tell us in detail about the fundraising procedure. Like, who are the contributors and how do you ensure the transparency in the entire process?
Before I get into the structure, I would just tell you how exactly we have designed the initiative and what makes it sustainable. So, Bridge is designed in a way that the amount which is raised through Bridge, okay, for example, we raised 10 lakh rupees. So, we decided that we will not be using the entire amount for disbursement. We will divide it into 60/40 ratio. That is, 60% of the amount goes for the disbursement. That means that college or the student aid community will be dispersing the 60% amount raised through Presh, and the remaining 40% will be going into a corpus account which has a higher rate of interest, so that the next batch, so that for the next allotment, for the next disbursement of the funds, we have some interest levied on the occurred on the amount. So every year the amount is divided in a way, disbursement happens separately, and the remaining 40% goes into the corpus account. So that is the structure of Bridge. Now, how does the fundraiser work? Bridge team is completely involved in reaching out to alumni, potential donors, can be CSRs, foundations, individuals. Okay, so we have a student team which is reaching out to the alumni, and the payment or the donation or the contribution is done from the Bridge website, that is tis.edu/bridge. Now, for every single donation, for every single contribution, the amount goes through a unique link wherein we get a receipt, that is Bridge team gets a receipt, and at the same time the college also gets a receipt that this amount has come, so that we can track in parallel the amount which has raised through bridge platform. This ensures that the transparency is maintained, and at the same time, the college administration, that is the accounts department, who is involved into the entire financing, they share a report monthly with us, which shows that this amount has come from the bridge portal. So in a way, we can tally it, and transparency is also ensured. Okay, so we have a regular fundraising mechanism. Okay, a regular fundraising which goes on, so anyone can go to the website and they can contribute, and that will go to the bridge account. And before the student aid is dispersed, that amount is used. All right. Now, the second fundraiser, which we have started recently, is called Avirat, which means continuity. So, any person, be it alumni, be it an individual or CSR, they would if they would like to donate certain amount for some period of time, they can do that. For example, 300 rupees for 3 months. That's the basic one. That's the basic plan that we have. So you can enroll, you can subscribe to the Avirat campaign, wherein you send 300 rupees every month for the number of time, for the number of months you have subscribed to. All right. So that is one of the that's the second way of contributing. And successfully, we have close to 60 people who have subscribed to Avirat campaign, and the first campaign is anyway open for all.
Adding to that, can you elaborate on the procedure or criteria for distribution of student aid?
Yeah. So yeah, one thing which we were very particular about, that we will not be getting into this disbursement process. So this entire student aid process is being managed by the Office of Student Affairs. Okay. Bridge has no role in that. We were very particular that we will not be involved into the disbursement and the amount where it is used. So the current process which I am aware of, OSA generally gives a notice to the students that okay, we will be having the application for student aid in this month. Please send your applications. So there are certain forms to be filled, certain income certificate to be given, and then they undertake interviews, and they do background checks, and accordingly the funds available is dispersed to the students. So nowhere bridge is involved into understanding who is being benefited, who is being furthered the student aid, who are what amount is given to which person. So we are not involved in that. We just ask the administration or the student aid committee to let us know the number of students who have been furthered by the funds raised by bridge. That's all we ask. Only the number, not the name, and not the course, nothing. So that is how it happens. We are just trying to channelize the funds, and through a transparent and accountable manner.
Thank you, Manzer. A very efficient system, it seems, and that was very informative. So, Manzer, how has the pandemic affected the functioning of this bridge? Like, has it highlighted the need for a student-led aid initiative in any way?
Yes, it has. It has actually. As I mentioned, the 60/40 model, we couldn't start with it in the pilot campaign because the demand was so huge. Many students were facing difficulties with regards to fee payment because their parents, their the only bread earner in their family, lost their job. They couldn't earn at that point of time. So the demand was really high. I guess last year it was close to 65 lakh rupees. That was the demand which we had received from the student aid office. But in the pilot campaign, we could only raise close to 10 lakh rupees. Okay, and we could only further support to 18 students. And but the demand was huge. I mean, so pandemic really hit us hard, and I should not say this, but unfortunately we had to start up a pilot campaign at the time of pandemic only. So yeah, if you ask me the effect of pandemic, the demand was actually very high because many students were facing with regards to the scholarships, and especially the parents were suffering a lot because of the pandemic.
Yes, these are difficult times, but nonetheless, we have to keep our spirits up and keep giving our best. Moving ahead with the next question, can you tell us what are the future plans of Bridge?
Um, if you ask me honestly, I don't want bridge to exist in future because this is something which should not have happened at first place. This is just a supplementary thing which we are doing because in the longer run we don't know if our friends will be able to graduate without the support or not. So honestly, personally, I don't want bridge to exist. But I don't think that time will be coming anytime soon that education is free for all, and students are graduating debt free. But until that day happens, I would like to slowly expand Bridge to other campuses, specifically Guwahati and Tuljapur and Hyderabad also. Because right now we are just focusing on Mumbai campus because we are strengthening the entire structure right now. Since it's a completely student-led thing, we all work voluntarily here. So we are taking time to understand the processes, and once we are ready with that, we'll slowly move to other campuses, mostly Guwahati, Hyderabad, and Tuljapur.
That's wonderful. Hope Bridge achieves all their desired goals. I'm sure so many students will be interested in this student aid. So, how do the students in need get in touch with Bridge?
So we are available on almost all the social media handles. Even the email address is bridge@tis.edu. Um, we have currently student coordinator. So every year we select the student body, which is mostly comprising of first year and second year students, master students. So they can contact the current coordinator and co-coordinator. So we have Satyendra. He is currently pursuing his master's in social work from TIS Mumbai, and Anubha, she's pursuing development studies from TES Mumbai. So they are coordinators and co-coordinators. They can be contacted. Their contact number is available on Bridge website also. Or you can reach out to us on any of the social media handles, primarily LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. We are available there. So they can be contacted. So any students who would like to join, would like to support us, is most welcome.
Okay, so lastly, what message would you like to give to our listeners, especially the students of TISS?
Last message, I would say, help us spread the word because it is still, we are still in a very initial stage. We are in a very naive state. We are growing, we are learning every day. And so, one help what students can give to us is help us spread the word, or also help us strengthen our processes. If you think something can be done in a better way, Bridge can, if we are unable to look at something, and if you think that is something which we can do, please let us know. As I mentioned, we are evolving, we are learning every day, so nothing is perfect. The initiative is also, it was started right during our college days, so it's not a full-time thing. So the student body, the student community can help us grow, it can help us strengthen. And yeah, one day hopefully we will not be needing something like Bridge, but till the day it arrives, this day arrives, let us all work together and try and support as many students as possible.
Thank you so much, Manzar. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on our podcast to get to know about this Bridge initiative. We hope Bridge continues to grow like this, and all the best.
Thank you so much for having me here, and you both and the entire Gunj team is doing an amazing job. All the best to you, and yeah, have a nice day.
Thank you. And to wrap up, I would request you to check this bridge on Instagram. And while you're at it, don't forget to follow Tisgoons on Instagram and Spotify.